Right, so today we're going to be talking about the 7 traits of disruptive leaders. And I think firstly we want to look at why is disruption good. And so I came across a statistic the other day, which was that 40% of companies in the Fortune 500 in 2010 are no longer there. So 40% of those are no longer there because the change is happening so quickly. So many more companies are coming up, so many more competitors are coming through. So the need to be disruptive and to be able to stay ahead of the curve is greater than it's ever been. Now, disruption can be risky, especially if we're working in a public company where shareholders are much more interested in the profits that we're going to be receiving in the next quarter, as opposed to how do we shape the company for the next three to 5 years. So it does require some tact and some level of skill within it to be able to do this. So if we look at a case study, so if we look at the Blockbusters versus Netflix case study, we'll see that disruption isn't something that necessarily happens overnight. When we hear disruption, we're thinking kind of Silicon Valley, fast-moving, fast-paced, but it's not necessarily the case. If we look at Netflix, they originally started out as a company sending out DVDs through the mail. But they were building their database, they were building their brand, and then when the time came and the internet download speeds got to a point where they were able to stream movies to most people, then they were able to flick that switch so they're in the right place at the right time because they're thinking about what's happening in the future, not necessarily just what's happening right now. And we can see where Netflix is and we can see where Blockbuster is in 2019. So the 7 traits, what are the 7 traits that we need to be effective as disruptive leaders? The first is being fearless in the pursuit of truth. And by this I mean these types of leaders are constantly testing products and services and processes. They're always looking for better ways to be able to do things. And the other thing about that is that they're not afraid of saying when things are not working as well. The second is being decisive and inspiring confidence in people. So this is that they understand what their vision is and they're able to articulate it in a way that's motivating and brings everybody else on board. The third is that they're adaptable. So they don't see failure as the end result. Always love the Thomas Edison quote, if I haven't failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that didn't work. So they don't see failure as the end game, they see it as part of the process and they're able to move on and keep trying as a result. The fourth is that they're lifelong learners. These are the guys with piles of books stacked next to their bed. They're constantly asking why or why not, and even more importantly, they're always seeking feedback. They're always going to as many people as they can and asking in a constructive way for good critical feedback. They understand that disruption can create uncertainty, so they're very aware of other people, and they have a high level of emotional intelligence is required to be able to do that, to be able to keep people focused on the tasks at hand and understand the pressures that they're going through. The 6 is that they're customer and product obsessed. So they're constantly looking for new ways to be able to do things. They want to solve problems for people. They want to find efficiencies, or they want to be able to reduce costs for people. And the last is that they're rule breakers. And by this, I mean that they've got a healthy skepticism of the way that things were done in the past. They don't necessarily think just because something was done in a certain way that is the right way and will continue to do that. They're always testing that. Okay, so there are 7 tips. Hope that helps, and get out there and disrupt.